All right, we are back and we're ready to begin our assembly. I'm going to go ahead and first, as always, when we work with slab, you want to smooth your edges. So all I did was wet my finger and I'm just rubbing the edges a little bit gently so that they are smooth. You want to make sure and do both walls. And I don't think we're going to use all of this, but we need enough to go around. Set your base. And again, I put a word in here just for fun. I thought it'd be fun. But you can do the same texture on the inside if you like. There we go. Now I'm going to bevel my edge, so I'm going to hold this here. Let's see if I can move out of the way here so the sun can catch it better. Put your finger on the edge, get at a 45-degree angle, and cut down until it stops at your thumb. Right there. We're going to flip this whole thing over. And use the same degree angle to do the other side. Same exact angle. While I have it flipped over, I'm going to smooth that edge. And now I'm going to start my scoring. So I'm going to score the edge here. It's going to go right on top. About 1/4 of an inch is what you need to score because that's the thickness of the wall. Got that. I'm going to add some water. This is my slip. Make sure that your texture is right side up if you have a direction on your texture. And then you're going to score this edge. This is much easier to construct. Clay is leather hard. Side of. So when you're attaching, I'm gonna move this down a little bit. When you're attaching your walls, sorry about the bell. When you're attaching your walls, you want to make sure that it hits flush to the edge, and you don't want to stop and start the next wall on the corner. You want this to come around and bend around. Making sure that you use your finger on the inside to push while you support the outside. You're going to push to square out that corner so the wall meets that base template really well. This on this side will also curve around. And it's really important that you don't stop your wall on a corner. It makes the construction very weak. All right, we've got that, and I'm going to run my fingers on the outside and seal it. I'm also going to go ahead and seal the inside with a rubber tip tool. Make sure you give it a little pressure so it sticks nicely. Pushing down so it sticks nicely, making sure you're hitting your edge. And then I also like to hit it with a wet paintbrush. There we go. And now I'm going to attach my next wall. So I'm going to bevel this guy as well. I'm only going to bevel one side because I don't know how much I'm going to need. So I just bevel just one side, and I'm going to slip and score this edge, and I'm going to attach on the bevel. Oops, I have to score the bottom of this as well. I almost forgot. Check my texture, make sure it's right side up. Good. This slab is going to be a tiny bit thicker than normal because you want to make sure that it's holding up to your thermal expansion. I'm just making sure the wall is butted up against the edge of the base, and I'm running my finger to seal it. When I come around this way, make sure you hit your corners before you cut. Line them up, and then you're going to cut diagonally through both pieces. Take the excess off and score. I think I'm going to switch views for you guys so you can see how this is connecting. Before I do that, I'm going to hold this and smooth that connection really well, where one wall met the other wall. Okay. Change cameras here for you guys really quickly. There we go. Okay, so scoring and slipping. And compressing these two parts together so that they meet well. I have a little weird, and I'm really dealing with these corners because I want the corners to meet up well. I have a very kind of a strange connection out here. I don't know if I beveled properly, so I'm going to fix that in a minute. It's just a little notch right there. So I'm going to take a little tiny piece of clay, roll it into a coil, tiny coil. Little tiny coil, and just shove it in there. I'm supporting from the inside and I'm pushing it in. Put this on a banding wheel so it'll be easier for me to turn it as we talk about it. There we go. All right, so this inside right here, that seam, we need to deal with the seam right here. So again, I'm going to support the outside and smooth with the rib. I'm going to go both directions, and then I'm going to go up. Make sure it's sealed on the rim. Now it's time to go around with a paintbrush again. And my rubber tip tool goes all the way around to seal. I also like the line that it leaves on the inside. I think it's kind of cool. The glaze will settle in there nicely. All right, now we're cleaning up. So you always want your rims to be soft and not jagged. You want them nice and rounded. So I'm coming through and I'm careful not to smear out my really nice texture. I'm also going in and cleaning up the inside. Oops. Any finger marks or nail marks that I might have made in there, I'm going to get cleaned up. The connection of the two wall pieces are also getting smoothed nicely together. And I'm going to run my finger on this outside. That's where I put my little patch earlier. Run your finger on the outside. Make sure that that connection is solid. You will see a little bit of a seam. You can emphasize that seam if you want. Why not? I'm going to gently lift this and smooth out my bottom. And this, once again, is why it helps to have your clay a little bit drier than leather hard. And there we have it. There is our loaf pan. I'll show you from the side. You can also rib the sides too. One thing that I forgot to explain to you guys is you want to use these mud tool for groggy clay. You want to use the mud tool sponges. I was using the yellow sponge and I started to feel the grog coming up. So make sure you use the mud tool grog sponges. Really important. There we go. I'm just going to rub my rib on here too one last time to make sure I'm good to go on that connection. If you need to, once this is a little bit dry, if you need to take a Surform and shave anything, if your rim is uneven, mine is not, so I don't have to really do anything to it at this point. That was a pretty easy construction, I would say. But if you need to, for sure use your Surform and make sure that everything is even on the rim and smooth. I'm going to show you the top-down view so you can see what it looks like. There we go. That's it. Don't forget that we always put plastic over the top. There's my cute bread pan, loaf pan, and plastic over the top so it dries slowly. That's it.